My name's Reena Reese. I'm the 9th and 10th grade counselor over at the high school. This is Miss Ricketts. She's the assistant principal over at the high school. I'm just gonna kind of go over some things that I went over today in class with the students. I gave them some papers. I have brought extra copies in case they haven't showed them to you yet or discussed it, or you want to get your own copy, about picking classes for next year. But besides just talking about that, I go over some things that are important about high school and things they really need to start paying attention to and focusing on, okay? So some of the things I covered was how everybody needs 26 credits to graduate, and they earn credit by passing a class each semester. They get half a credit for each class that they pass, okay? And that's how they earn their credit. I went over what a transcript looks like and why it's important and how to kind of start learning to read it. The graduation plans, how to get exemptions for final exams, distinguished level achievements for college bound or what if they're looking for that pathway, and endorsements. Endorsements seem to confuse people a lot. They get worked up about them, so I'm going to break them down and make it where it's a little bit easier to understand. And just kind of hit the automatic college admissions and kind of describe some of the electives that they can take, pathways that they can follow, okay? All right, so first we went over a transcript. I just have a generic transcript here that I told them this is their high school record. Every year they will get one of these, and what they need to do is be checking it and keeping an eye on it and paying attention, because mistakes get made. Sometimes the computer glitches and it doesn't put in something even though we thought it did. So every year around March, I go in and talk to the 9th graders, give them their transcript from the first semester, and we look at everything and I explain to them, you know, if they earn credit, why they didn't get credit, things like that. So the transcript will have the top information is theirs. It'll put STAR tests that they've taken and if they've met it or not. It gives the course, a list of the course names, the service IDs, and then they have semester 1 with grades and semester 2, and then this credit, okay? So each semester you pass, you get half a credit. So I told them by Christmas next year, they should have a half a credit for every class they're in. And then by the end of the year, 7.5 credits total, okay? And then each year it keeps building up where they'll end up with 26 to 28 credits for graduation. There are some things that on the transcript besides grades and their credits, a lot of them want to know their rank, class rank, and their GPA. Y'all can come. There's plenty of room. Come have a seat. This is ran in June, okay? So at the end of the year of next year, when we mail home the final report card, they'll also have a copy of their transcript mailed home with it. And they can look down at the bottom to see where they're at for GPA or class rank if they're interested. And it'll also show them a total of how many credits they earned during their freshman year, okay? It should be about 7.0. Some students are currently taking some high school courses here, like Spanish 1, theater arts, and algebra. So some of them could possibly start next year off with 3 credits already. So they'll have 10.5 time they're finished with their freshman year. It just depends on what classes they're taking. The state credits is what we go by. When you get a transcript, you'll see state and local. Local credits don't go towards graduation credits. Those you earn, like if you want to be an office aide your senior year because you don't really want to take a class, you'll get a credit for it, but it doesn't go towards the graduation ones, okay? But most everybody, like I said, ends up with around 28, 29 credits at graduation time. This is their document that colleges are looking at and telling them, so you want to make sure you keep up with it. They're looking, what type of class did you take? They're looking at these little codes that are described at the bottom, what J means, what H means. In junior high is J, H, and Q are your advanced or pre-AP classes, and then a P means AP level classes. So colleges look at these things. They're seeing how you're doing, what your GPA was, where you were ranked in class. So this is a kind of very important document that they want to keep with them. So I've heard that even some jobs ask for your transcript when you first get out of high school. They want to see what kind of person you are. They're going to look at your grades and what kind of classes you took, because, you know, they're getting kind of checking everything on us now. But this is a document that they need to learn how to read, check on it every year, make sure it's correct, okay? One thing that's real important is attendance, okay? If you get your transcript and you have say this 84, you pass first semester, but it doesn't show your credit for it. If there's a little asterisk next to that grade, that means you had too many absences for that semester and you don't get credit, okay? So I've explained to the kids it's either 8 or 9 days a semester that they could have. 8 days, that's excused or unexcused. Doctor notes, parent notes, no note. Once you pass 8 absences, you don't get credit in that class. You have to make up hours. So you'll have to go to Saturday school, or sometime during the summer, kids have to come sit up there to make up their hours. So in high school, you have to be in the class 90% of the time. So if you ever come across that, I told the kids, you can have a 100 first semester, but if that asterisk's there and you get 0 credit, you're repeating the first semester of that class. You have to retake the class if you don't make up your hours through Saturday school and after school and during the summer, okay? So attendance gets real particular, and that's what I see a lot of freshmen get into trouble with, that because they don't realize attendance is hurting them, okay? I tell them that each class period, so first period's English, let's say, and I'm always scheduling my doctor appointments where I'm not there first period. So maybe I have therapy or orthodontist, and I go during that first semester 3 times to the doctor, but then I get strep and I'm out 3 or 4 days. Now I'm already hit my 8 days. So I told them it's always good to kind of try to schedule your things randomly. Don't always pick first period or 8th period to miss for things that you're going to be out a lot. Every once in a while, throw one in the middle of the day so that you don't have 8 absences in one period. Does that make sense? Okay. Because this throws a lot of students off, and parents don't understand. It's like, you were passing. How come you don't have credits? It's that attendance that gets them in high school. Okay. So this is transcript. Like I told in March, next year, I'll go over theirs with them and get them familiar with it. And then their sophomore year, we'll pull it up again, and I'll give them a copy to kind of look at. The only thing that won't change is that GPA until June. We only run it in June, except for seniors. We'll run like in April, right before they graduate. But everybody else, it's June. We run it once a year, okay? So it won't change after that summer of freshman year. You get it. It's going to stay that way all the way till the end of your sophomore year, and then it'll recalculate. Make sense?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry, I just had a question for the GPA. Do you weight classes any differently, like the AP classes? Or
Yes.
like that?
When you get the course catalog, if you go online, it'll give you, like, for each class, if you take regular English 1, it's just a tier 1, it's just regular weighted. But if you take the advanced, it's like a tier 2, you're going to get a higher weight, okay? And the AP classes are even, up there when you get in those higher grades. All right, this is what the graduation plan looks like. This is just a generic overview of what you should take for the 4 years you're in high school. And it's all based on what you take 9th grade, okay? This is like a working document. This is going to constantly change depending on which classes you select to take each year, okay? So once we get our classes figured out, they'll put in their electives and things. It'll show this is what you should take your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year. But then their sophomore year, they decide they don't want to do, say, construction anymore. They pick culinary. It's going to update as they go each year. But we have to have a signed document from the parent and the student that they acknowledge there's a graduation plan, that there's a 4-year plan for them to graduate, okay? But it changes as they go through high school, okay? Because when I send these home, Thursday I'll be sending them home with the kids for you to look over, and all it's going to show right now is their core subjects: English, science, math, English, science, math, history, and then if they haven't taken Spanish 1 yet, that'll be on there. If they've taken algebra this year, they'll have geometry advanced instead of algebra on theirs. Their electives won't be in there until later after they get through picking and we do all the schedule adjusting, okay? But this is just kind of just give you an idea, I just put it in there. Their freshman year, we never look at it again until their senior year. And then it gets all updated with all your testing information. By your junior year, we have an idea of what pathway you chose because you've taken the majority of the classes for construction, and we can put that endorsement on your thing. That's what I'll explain next. Okay? So when you get one of these, that's what it is. Questions, all you gotta do is call me at the high school. All right, college-bound students that are thinking about college, they want to go for this distinguished level of achievement. That means you have to take 4 years of science, 4 years of math, along with your other classes, and you also have to take Algebra 2. Colleges want you to have Algebra 2 completed before you leave high school, before you try to enroll with them. So Algebra 2 used to be required to graduate. It's no longer required to graduate. But if you're planning to attend a college, you have to have Algebra 2 completed before high school's over, okay? Automatic admissions in Texas, if you're in the top 10% of your class, colleges in Texas, you get admitted, okay? UT is the only one that only takes the top 6%, all right? And just Algebra 2 is required for college. And trade school, and trade school. If you're going to a trade school, they're requiring Algebra 2 also be completed. All right, so endorsements. So we have 5 endorsements the state's given us, okay? And they're basically to show that the student went through a pathway, took 4 years of a certain career type interest. So if they're interested in culinary, the cooking classes, and they take 4 years of it, they followed a pathway because they did all 4 levels, all right? And then we categorize them under one of these 5. We have STEM, business and industry, public service, arts and humanities, and multidisciplinary. These are the courses they have to take. If you look, they're pretty much all the same, okay? What determines which category you're in are the 7 or more electives that you take, okay? So if a lot of students get 1, 2, even up to 3 endorsements on their grad plan when they graduate, but depending on which electives they took and followed through. This also helps with their CCMR that we get rated on by the school. The more kids we have complete a pathway and earn endorsements, the more points the district gets from the state, okay? So everything's the same as far as taking the classes. You still have to take 4 English, 4 math, so-and-so. You get 7 electives. Some people get more because they've done some classes here at junior high, so it gives them extra electives to pick. We start everybody on multidisciplinary because I don't know what pathway they're picking or what they're working on. And as they go, this will be updated also on their grad plan. And it's based on those electives. Make sense? Kind of? Okay. So at Smithville High School, these are the pathways. We have at least 1 in each of the 5 pathways. And these are the courses that you can take to complete it. So business and industry, we have 4 different routes you can take. It's the culinary arts, the construction or carpentry, animal science, and then the applied agricultural engineering, which is the welding. Okay. You finish these 4 classes, you earn that pathway, and your endorsement will be business and industry. Okay. If you decide to do the computer science or the engineering pathway, or you're going to go with the math, you want to take extra math classes as electives, you'll get the STEM endorsement, okay? Public service, the only programs we have right now is the nursing science classes, where they can take that for the 4 years and they'll get a public service endorsement. And then we also have the arts and humanities for the students that really like art and band and theater, and that's where they want to focus. So basically, if you're a freshman, you're going to pick one of these to start off your electives, and that's your pathway you're starting, okay? And then your sophomore year, you'll be in this level, whichever path you're taking, junior year, senior year. That way you have you've completed all 4 levels to earn that endorsement, okay? All right, also in high school, they can get exempt from final exams, but these have requirements. Basically, it's based on grades and attendance and also your discipline. If you have any discipline, you cannot get exempt from any final exams. But if you meet some of the requirements, your grades are right, your attendance is right, freshmen can get exempt from all their classes that are elective and one core, which is usually world geography. English, biology, and algebra, right now they don't get exempt from that because those are STAR tested subjects, so they're required to take that final exam. But they can earn exemption from the other courses. And I told them at high school, usually that week before Christmas break or right before graduation, we get like 2 or 3 days, half days at the high school, where we're pretty much through by 11:30ish, almost 12. If they have a ride, if they walk, or if somebody can pick them up, they can leave early those days if they're exempt from a class that's taken a test that they don't have to take. But most of the time, the freshmen, they're not driving yet. Parents are at work, so usually the other half of the day they sit in the cafeteria and wait for the buses to run, because the buses don't run early for our exemption days. Okay? And then it goes each year. So in sophomore year, the only STAR test they have is English 2, so they can get exempt from all those other classes but English 2. Okay? I told them finals has a heavier weight than daily grades and test grades. So if you're making an 86 in English and you take the final and you bomb it, it can bring your grade down to like a 70 something. And all of a sudden you're not doing so great in English. If you're making like a 73 and you really ace that final, it can bring you up closer to an 80. Okay? The final test has a lot of weight, so it can bounce you around. So you may be passing English with 76, I'm fine, I'm passing all my classes. And then we do the final exam and your report card goes out and your mom or dad's like, why'd you fail English? And you were passing, but that final exam got you. Okay? So that's for exemptions that they get to experience at high school.
Are y'all on 7 or 10-point grading scale?
10. 10.
10?
They also have 5-star tests they have to take at high school level, okay? These are also part of graduation requirements. They have to pass their STAR test to graduate. Even if they've got all their credits and passed all their classes, if they didn't pass all their STAR tests, that can keep you from graduating, okay? Freshmen take 3. They take English 1, Algebra 1, and Biology. Sophomores only take English 2, and juniors take U.S. History, and then nothing during senior year, okay? If they're in algebra this year in 8th grade, they will actually take the Algebra STAR in May at the junior high. If they pass it, they're done. They don't have to take it again at high school, okay? It carries over on their transcript, okay? Also, some of the students, I tell them, sometimes we can't get past English 1, okay? First year you take the English 1, you don't meet, then we'll offer a summer testing where you can take it again. If you still don't meet it, you'll do it again in December. And if you still don't meet, we just keep giving you that test till you can get past it, okay? If you can't pass 3, you have to pass 3, period. Then they give you a IGC committee will get together and give you a project to replace the STAR test that they couldn't pass to be able to graduate, okay? But the goal is to pass the STAR test and be done with it and keep rolling on so you can graduate. Also in high school, you're required to have at least 1 athletic or PE physical education credit and 1 fine art. Okay, you only have to have 1. So there's different ways to earn that credit. Is take PE and you get your physical, take art or theater and you get your fine arts. But if you're in band and you stay in band for 2 years, you'll get your credit for both of those and you don't have to take a PE class or an art class. Band will cover those 2, but it's got to be a 2-year thing in band. Athletics equals a PE credit, so if you take athletics, you're done with your PE credit. If you do athletics all 4 years, your last 3 athletic periods are basically your elective. It's an elective that you're picking, okay? To earn fine art classes, so there's 4 different classes you can take if you're not in band. So we have art, just regular art class where you draw, you sketch, mold stuff, different things. I told them this is, it's not just go in there and think it's an easy peasy class and you're going to color in the lines and you pass. Okay, Ms. Frerick has high expectations in art, and she pushes you to do it correctly in the right way, and you got to really like to do that type of art. Okay, if you don't and you don't feel like you're a strong art person, you're going to struggle. Then we have the 3 different types of theater.
I'm trying to make sure I'm answering her correctly.
So theater has 3 different levels that will cover a fine art. Theater tech is where they learn stage props, makeup, costumes, lighting, sound. No acting is required. So this is a real easy way to get your fine art credit if you're one of those people that don't like to draw and sketch and things like that. Okay? So that's one way that doesn't require you to act, because as soon as I say theater, everybody's like, I'm not acting. Okay? This one doesn't require any acting. The next one is theater arts. This one does require some acting in class, but it's just in the classroom, so you're just acting in front of your classmates, okay? But you do have to do a little bit of acting. Some people are in that this year in 8th grade, okay? So they kind of know what it's like. They can continue to take Theater Arts 2, Theater Arts 3 if they're really enjoying it, okay? And the last one is theater production. This one is more rigorous. This one's a lot of serious acting. This one, they compete against other schools with plays. They do the UIL competition. They put on plays, usually over here at the elementary in the cafeteria on the stage. They'll sell tickets and invite the public to come watch them do their plays and stuff. So this one you really want to be in, but it requires Mr. Hensley to give you approval. He has to meet with you and see if you're a good candidate. And he does require Tuesdays and Thursdays after school practice. It's like a requirement. If you can't make that, then it's probably not the class for you. All right. Other thing that you have to have for graduation is 2 years of foreign language. Right now it's Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 is the only foreign language that we offer at the high school. The other option is to take some AP computer science classes. So if you take the 2 years of the 2 AP classes, AP is college level, okay, you can take an AP exam and get college credit if you can get through those tests. So the kids have the choice. If they don't feel like they're good at Spanish, a lot of times the freshmen will pick pick the computer science, and after the first 6 weeks, they've either been kicked out because they're so far behind and their grade is so low, or they realize I don't understand 100000100, because you are actually doing computer language. You're creating programs. It's a fast-paced class. It's college level. People from Dell and stuff are the ones actually teaching the class through the computer. So the kids are in their computer, headphones, microphone, and the people that work at Dell and stuff are giving them instructions on how to do different program planning and stuff. Ms. Costello's in there as a facilitator. She's just there kind of, are you doing your work? Your grades are getting behind, kind of thing. You're a lot kind of on your own. She's there to help with some of it, but a lot of it's every day you have something to complete. If you're absent one day, you're 2 days behind already, because every day something is due. They keep moving. It's a fast-moving class. If you're interested in that type of career, that's the best thing to take. It's going to help you get there, okay? But it's not making cartoons and videos. It's writing programs. It's coding, all right? But that's an option. Go back. The other way some students get their credit for a foreign language is through credit by exam. We offer that a couple times a year where they can sign up. A lot of students will sign up because they can speak, read, and write Spanish fluently. They can take a test and test out of Spanish. They earn a credit when they pass, and they've got their foreign language done for Spanish 1, and then they'll take for Spanish 2. Okay? But that's the other option. Otherwise, it's 2 years of Spanish, which is the easier route, the computer science, or testing out if you're really fluent in reading, writing, and speaking. Okay. All right. Go to the next one. Now I'm just going to kind of cover the electives. There's the computer science pathway. This is where you start out with fundamentals of computer science, and then you go into the 2 AP classes, and then you have a practicum your senior year. Like I said, these people are helping teach the class, the different companies. If you're interested in computer programming and you want to make a whole lot of money when you get out of high school, this is probably the best route to go. Okay, if you're sure you're not going to go to college right away and you just want to make some money, these people that are teaching you, they're going to get a feel for you after 4 years of what kind of work do you do, or are you catching on, and you could get offered a job real quick over there at Dell, okay, and start out making some good money. If you're not interested in technology and writing programs and speaking in zeros and ones, this is going to be a tough class for you, okay, a tough pathway. Culinary arts. If you're interested in restaurant business or hospitality type field, culinary arts is the way to go, okay? Just because it says arts does not mean it counts as a fine art. I've had students sign up for it thinking it was their fine art credit, okay? This is where you learn how to cook and how to run a restaurant business, but you're not just going in there and cooking every day and eating every day. And so I tell the students, you're going to learn nutrition, how to read food labels, how to plan different meals, food safety, hygiene on working in a kitchen, and how you have to do like if you were in a restaurant type area. But if you're interested in that field, this is a great way to get some experience and some knowledge, okay? Agricultural, we have the animal science and then the welding. Kind of build off of the agricultural area. If you're showing animals, they tell me you have to take principles of ag next year if you're going to show, okay? There's the animal pathway where they learn how to show animals and how to do small animal management and equine science and livestock production if you're interested in the animal side. The other half of it is the welding side. And the welding requires principles of ag. You have to take that first. Then your sophomore, junior, senior year, you go to the welding side. Okay? We have a place out in the big barn behind the school where they have little booths where they do welding. This year is going to be coming up. It's going to be our first year. They're going to offer ACC, Austin Community College, is going to offer a dual credit welding. Okay? So the freshmen this year that are in Principles of Ag have the option to take that type of welding instead of the welding class we have right now. But seniors aren't going to be allowed to take it. It's because they want you to get that certification for the 3 years, the pathway for it. You have to have Principles of Ag. So if you're interested in welding, next year take Principles of Ag and you can get in that welding ACC program, where you're going to learn a whole lot about welding and have some good skills to at least go out there and get that, intern type ship welding job and making some money. Construction is our other pathway where they do all kinds of stuff. They do compete with the Skills USA in the 4 different areas: plumbing, masonry, carpentry, and electric. Usually they're first, second place all the time nationwide against the other schools that are competing with things that they've built and things that they've created and competitions that they do, like putting a plumbing together, who can do it fast and right. Go to the next one. They do woodwork, they build things, they do some bricklaying and understand how to do masonry work. Doug's Plumbing comes out and does a whole teaching section on the plumbing. They have, I'm not sure who it is that does the electrical, but I think he has some people come out and help teach some of the electrical part, where they learn how to wire all kinds of things, buildings and stuff. They make stuff that they sell to the community. Some people come up and request to have things built through them. They built chicken coops, deer stands, sheds, playhouses, picnic tables, benches, cornhole boards for the chamber. They do a lot of stuff. I tell the kids, if you're not sure what you want to do, you just have no idea, this was probably the best pathway to take, because you're going to learn things you can use throughout your whole life, especially when you become an adult and have that house of your own to take care of. okay? But Mr. Murby does a really good job with the program out there. And we've had a couple of kids that did the 4-year program, and every year that Doug's Plumbing come out to do their section, they got to know that kid. He went to work for them right out of high school, okay? So that's a really good pathway to take. The health nurse science classes, if you're interested in any type of medical field, it doesn't have to be nursing. I told the kids, if you want to do dentistry, you want to do physical therapy, chiropractor, you're going to go any type of medical field, this is the best pathway to take, because they're going to give you a lot of knowledge on the basics and how to be able to pass those classes in college, because then you're going to know the terminology they use. So you get a word this long you can't even pronounce for a bacteria this big, okay? They'll learn all them Latin and Greek things because science has those weird names. But Miss Weinheimer teaches this class. She's been a school nurse at the elementary forever, and she's actually the teacher of this class. So she's bringing in some real knowledge from her nursing experience and things to help these students along. She's getting doctors and nurses and people come in and lecture to the class and kind of give them some ideas about what it's like in the medical field. They go and work at the clinic in town, the nursing home. The sophomore year she starts it. You don't have to wait till senior year to go out there and get some hands-on experience. These kids are out there, they're getting to know these people, and they're getting to know the student, and they're like, when you graduate, I think you got a job because your mannerisms right, you know the terminology. It's a good way to start doing that. What is it called? Networking? Looking for the jobs. This is a good program to get into if you're interested in any type of medical. I've even had people that wanted to do vet go this program because they learn how to do the shots and read the milligrams and all the little different stuff they use in medical that you don't use every day. So any type of medical stuff, this is a good program to get into. The newest one we started this year for the first time is the Engineering Essentials. This is where they're learning how to do engineering things, 3D printing. We have a 3D printer. We have some other machines out there that are brand new. We got a grant to get all this stuff for the students to use. The next class is manufacturing, technology, engineering, and it builds up. And the goal for this pathway is junior, senior year, doing some internship at Tesla, where we're busing some students over there and they're working part of the day with Tesla, okay? So this one's another one, if you're interested in that type of field, to take. Okay. Like I said, some other things, some students pick band all 4 years, okay? It becomes an elective. It takes up an elective space. Some people do athletics and band. That's 2 spaces taken up, but you can do it every year if that's what you like. You can do them at the same time. You can be in band and athletics. Cheer is going to be under athletics, so if you're in cheer, that'll give you that credit. Color guard falls under band. Some people actually take PE all 4 years, okay? Most people want to take it freshman year and never do it again, but some people like to take it because they're just not sure what they want to do. There is 2 other courses that I didn't talk about because they don't really lead into a pathway, but there's an applied music, which basically is a second period band, where if you're in band and you want more of that one-on-one type thing, Mr. King has to approve you and you can take a second. 2 periods of band basically is what you can get. And then teen leadership is another class that we have. That's for where they learn leadership skills, job interview skills, how to interact with other people, how to speak publicly, and things like that. And a lot of them that go through the teen leadership are the ones that go into the PALS program their junior and senior year, where they go around and meet with the elementary and junior high kids and kind of mentor them. I think I've covered it. All right, so in high school, attendance is just as important as grades. So keep that in mind, okay, so that you don't lose credit and have to make up a class that you already passed, or you don't have to come spend Saturday up here forever trying to make up those hours. Orientation for freshmen is usually like the week before school starts. We'll send out remind, whatever Ms. Saunders sends out, we'll mail home letters that give you the date and the time. And that's when freshmen will come up and pick up their schedules and kind of tour the school. We usually have all the UIL and clubs set up in booths where you can go around and see if there's one you're interested in joining, find out more about it. But we'll usually do that about the week before school officially starts. And that's when you'll get your schedule. Okay, so we look forward to serving your child and helping you get through this high school years. So if you have any questions specifically, because it's kind of hard to answer them like this, call me at the high school, email me, it's rreese@smithville ISD. Check the school, the website. Ms. Saunders is putting some more of information on about some of the CTE programs, the pathways, and